football talk going. Joining us from the Calgary Stampeders President Jay McNeil on this Wednesday. Jay, thanks for coming on, the official broadcaster of the Grey Cup champion, Saskatchewan Roughriders.
He managed a bit of a smile, it was a short smile, but he managed.
You're expecting everything to last, so I'm okay with that.
Yeah. You know what? Interesting week for you guys. I was listening and I was talking to Jock Wilson there in Calgary and listening to the stations out there like I do every morning. And you guys had a presser a couple days ago just getting ready for the Grey Cup next year in Calgary. Now we know, I already had a text message here today on the Prairie Line Rentals text line. Someone's already got their Hilton booked in downtown Calgary for next year. It's so close. Calgary, a lot of Sasky people. It is a great city to party in. We see that every July with the Stampede. But what did you guys talk about? What were maybe the major takeaways this week at the presser that you want people to know?
Yeah, a great question. And first off, thanks very much for having me. I really appreciate this. And yeah, exciting week for us. I think obviously, title partner to our for our Grey Cup Festival with Synovus Energy, which they stepped up and have been a tremendous partner, and we're really excited for them to come on board. So I think that was, a big piece to this. But really, it was about. This week was about we're kicking off the brand of the 2026 Grey Cup Festival. That's what we were focused on. Calgary is such a great city from a host perspective when you look at the Stampede and everything that has become. It's evolved into a music festival, and we love to welcome people, especially at the BMO Center there at Stampede Grounds. And we want to be an extension of that. What we think about, we want to build on the Grey Cups from the past, and we want to leverage our experience as a city with the Stampede and make this one of the greatest Grey Cup festivals in history. So we're really excited about this opportunity.
I would have thought too that Calgary would have hosted the Grey Cup more times than they have.
I've been asked that question since Monday, probably 10 times. And the truth is, I really don't have an answer as to why we've hosted. This will be the second time in 7 years, and then only 4 times previous to that. So that is a pretty interesting stat that I hadn't really given much thought. But you're right.
Well, I guess one question I have to ask, and because we're all hoping for a better facility than what McMahon currently looks like in Calgary. And Mark Stephen, you're a radio play-by-play man, and I discuss McMahon Stadium and his frustrations all the time. What sort of improvements or sort of a better sort of looking situation that you're going to get hosting the Grey Cup that they're going to do to McMahon? Are they doing some work now, or will they be doing work during the season?
Yeah, it's a great question, and I think we're all well aware of the challenges within McMahon Stadium, one of the oldest stadiums in the CFL. So in order to facilitate or to host a Grey Cup, you have to have a minimum standard. And so the CFL is very transparent about what they expect from a Grey Cup level presentation. And so that's going to require us to augment the stadium and build some things out from a number of different perspectives. One is, from a fan-facing engagement perspective. So you think about our concourses that, when McMahon Stadium was built in 100 days in 1960 for a 16,000 stadium. The concourses are, quite frankly, are not built for 35,000 people. So we are going to bump out 4 corners of the stadium into the parking lots and create, bigger concourses that are going to have, additional washrooms. And we're going to have, concessions that are built into that, so we can, safely bring 35,000 people into the stadium and manage that accordingly. So, trying to improve the fan experience, within McMahon Stadium on the game day. We're going to build temporary suites in the north end, big structure above what is now our Telus patio, and that is going to have 14 additional suites. We're going to have a standing room only spot as well, and then we will have more accessible seating in the northeast corner of McMahon Stadium. So we're doing a lot. And then the other piece is, just from a stadium infrastructure perspective, when you look at, our press box, there's not enough to hold enough press from across the country. So we've got to augment that. And there's from a broadcast perspective. So there's a lot of things that fans wouldn't but we do need to build out from a fundamental structure piece.
President of the Calgary Stampeders, Jay McNeil, joining us here on the Western Pizza Guest Hotline. The stadium, okay, Don, we got that. Let's talk about the party, though, a little bit more and getting after it for that week. What can you tell us? Because, in Winnipeg, I think they did a great job, but then, there was limited seats and, team rooms were over here and all that. In Sasky, we do have, I guess, the benefit of having everything almost under one roof. Not everybody has that. What can you tell us about how it's going to be set up for the team parties, the rooms, and then any concerts? Are you still in negotiation? Because I'm sure you guys are going to be doing that throughout the week as well.
Yeah, for sure. I think, from a concert perspective, that is one of the things that we talked about when we gave our presentation to the CFL is, the Stampede has evolved into a music festival that takes over our entire city. And so we want to build upon that. What are the two things that bring people together? One is live entertainment and one is sports. And we want to bring that festival and add that element to the festival. So we're going to have concerts on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights. It's all going to, and then the rest of the festival will all be held down on the Stampede grounds at the BMO Center. And so, all the team party rooms will be massive. In 2019, we started that trend of bringing all the team parties under one roof. And then the entire festival will be great there. We'll have an outdoor festival. We'll have an indoor festival. And then the Saddle Dome is also going to host a concert on Friday night. So we're going to have a much larger concert. We're going to have some 5,000 seat venues, and then we're going to have a concert of about 15,000 people at Saddle Dome on the Friday night. So it's going to be a pretty special festival.
Any hints? Any hints on that big shaker Friday night? Can you give us a genre?
Well, I think for the Friday night piece, we've talked about rock being the genre. So we're still working through every one of those concerts, and so I guess we'll see where we land. But that has been the initial conversation. And the other thing, sorry, that I forgot too, is in 2019 we did the first ever Grey Cup rodeo, and we are going to do that again on the Saturday. So we're really excited about that piece, working with the Stampede, to bring in, professional bull riders as a part of this, a part of the rodeo.
Wow, yeah, that'll hit. That'll hit. Everybody likes going to a little rodeo,
and it attracts Sasky people, Sasky football, because they like that sort of thing.
The whole thing. You got beer, and then you got Clamato juice for those mornings. You're good. You're perfect. Before I let you go, I want you to talk about too, because I coach it. We're big on the show here. It is really, really big in the province, especially in Regina. Flag football. You guys did something cool too with your flag football fields. What can you tell the SportsCage listeners about what you did there?
For sure. When you think about the Grey Cup, you think about a week in November, the festival and the game. But, one of the approaches I think that every team takes is, how do you have a lasting impact and have a legacy project that goes well beyond that week? And one of the things we working with our city with was, how do we grow the game of flag football? We're committed to it, as every CFL team is growing football, amateur football, whether it's flag or tackle. But in this case, we're taking an underutilized green space in southeast Calgary and turning it into the Calgary Stampeders community flag football fields, and creating 3 flag football fields for youth. And that'll be a year-round, youth-driven community sport asset. So we're incredibly excited about that. Our Stampeders Foundation has got a $500,000 donation for that, and that is something that we are very proud of, and the city has been such a great partner on this, and how we have a lasting legacy.
I was going to say, Barney, even as a Sasky fan, born and raised as we are here in Sasky, the best helmet in the CFL, in my opinion, no doubt about it, is Calgary's. Calgary's red helmet is number 1.
Really?
Well, I feel very privileged that you actually just said that, so thank you very much. We're pretty proud of our logo and our helmet and our color, so it's that means a lot coming from a Sasky fan.
My favorite thing about the Stampeders organization, and it's actually, I've never even been to McMahon Stadium for what I remember, is just the hanging speaker in the middle. Because so many small town Sasky hockey rinks used to have that as well. Never get rid of that. Never.
Well, to be honest with you, 3 years ago, we did get rid of that.
Oh no! See, I never made it.
Well, I hate to think we were going to end on a great note with the helmet comment, and then we had to go down. With the,
go downhill from there.
Uh,
I was going to ask you, Jay, what do you think of the new commissioner so far? What's your opinion about the new commission, the rule changes?
Yeah, I think he's done a great job. He's really brought a fresh set of eyes to the league, to the teams, to the CFL office. And how do we look at things differently? How do we appeal to a younger audience? It's one of the things we talk about in the Stampeders organization is what are we going to do different? What's worked in the past is not working anymore. And I think Stu's done a great job of doing that. The rule changes, we are trying to, and I know you've heard it all before, we're trying to make the game more engaging to a wider audience. It's not about going to U.S. rules. We're maintaining, the strong Canadian elements to it, but trying to make, increase scoring, improve the game flow, and I like it. And time will tell, right? Is the data correct, and will we get to where we want it to be? That's.
Yeah, perfect. Jay, thanks so much for doing this. Obviously, super sad now about the speaker that I never made. Do you know where it is? Is it at a bar somewhere? Did somebody at least,
in a bar somewhere?
You know what? I tell you what. Come to McMahon Stadium and we'll make it up to you.
Hey, you might see me. I like this whole rodeo, rock concert rodeo 24-hour thing too.
I think I'm going to be to the preseason game. I think Mark Steven. I might visit Mark when the Riders are there for the preseason game.
There you go. Yeah,
yes.
That would be great.
I'm more planning November, I think, and then the weather could be anything. It's Calgary. That's what I love about it.
It really could be.
I love about it too.
Yes.
Right on, Jay.
I wish we could plan for it. No, go ahead.
Thanks so much for making some time today, hopping on. We always, whatever. You're always welcome here as well, and really looking forward to you guys putting on a good show next year.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate having me on, and we are excited to host the country in November, so it's going to be great.